So we're the Cola Guys. I'm David.
I'm George.
And we are here this morning with our big, great Clemson fan friend, Kim Mitchell with Cassell Brothers Home Services now. Y'all have rebranded yourselves a little bit. So welcome to our podcast. We are just thrilled to have you here this morning.
I said before this, if I give you a thumbs up, that means I think your idea is crap. I'm nodding my head with a thumbs up.
Our good friend Ruby this morning. So good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
How does that work? Does that look good to you? Yeah? We should have just kept going. So, our podcast is aimed at helping the average homeowner, either talking about things associated with first-time home buyers or people that need to know things about maintaining their homes. And so that's why we have you here, because at some point this podcast will air, but it's the middle of June 2020 and it is hot as Hades outside right now.
Very hot.
So it's appropriate to have you on right now to talk about all this. So Kim, before we get started, please tell us about yourself a little bit, where you're from, what you do, you know.
So I'm from Little Mountain. Born and raised in Little Mountain, live out in the country. I'm a graduate of Mid-Carolina High School, rivals to your high school.
Didn't get you to laugh yet.
The what?
I didn't get you to laugh yet. I'm gonna keep going.
I've been at HVAC for the last 7 years. And so what I do is I do public relations for the company. I'm involved in projects in the community that we can get involved with. We do a lot with our chamber partners, and I do a lot with my B&I group.
Very good. And
awesome.
you were just involved with a big fundraiser not too long ago, right?
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about that.
The last fundraiser that we sponsored, my favorite one, I hope you're talking about the shoe drive with Don Staley.
Yes.
So back in 2020, my father passed away. He was a big Gamecock fan, and Dawn Staley has a nonprofit called Inner Soul, where she collects new shoes for school children. She goes into underprivileged school districts. So my dad passed away on May 6th of 2020. My goal was to collect 5,620 shoes.
Wow.
The date of his death. So we took up shoes for about 6 months. We ended up collecting 2,630. But when you multiply that by two, we almost got to 5,620. So it was a great community effort. A lot of my chamber partners helped me out. We had a box truck at the office, and even our customers would come by and drop off bags of shoes.
That's awesome. Well, we just love how Cassell Brothers gives back to the community. As you know, we're part of Exit Palmetto Real Estate over in Ballantyne, just down the road from you guys, and it's kind of baked into our office and the Exit culture to give back to the community. So, we just love other small businesses, homegrown businesses that stay in touch and stay, just connected with people and want to give back. So kudos to y'all.
Thank you. Well, it's important to give back to the community. You guys know y'all do such a good job.
Absolutely, because small businesses don't need to be seen as just taking, right?
Yes.
And too many businesses just have that thing about taking. So anyway, let's move on, because we're here to talk about heating and cooling.
Yes.
And so
I guess we can just talk about Cassell Brothers to begin with.
Okay.
Y'all don't just do heating and cooling, y'all also do plumbing. Can you walk us through what all Cassell Brothers specializes in and the different areas that they're able to serve the community?
Yes, so Cassell Brothers has been in business since 2008. In the last year, we just added a plumbing leg to our business. So we provide maintenance on your heating and air unit. We also sell whole house generators, generators. We do sell air purification systems, and of course we do plumbing. We do commercial and residential heating and cooling and plumbing.
okay,
Awesome.
how long has it taken y'all to grow out all those services?
So HVAC, we've done that since our inception.
Yep.
Plumbing, within the last year, so we have 5 plumbers.
Okay.
We have a master plumber on staff who's our plumbing manager. And currently our plumbing is probably booked out for about a week at a time.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how big of a footprint are you serving around the Midlands?
So we serve a 50-mile radius. So for instance, we go from St. Matthews, Camden, we have some customers in Aiken, Great Falls. Of course, we do Newberry, Prosperity, Pomeria, Little Mountain, Chapin, Hopkins, West Columbia, Casey.
Okay.
If you call us, we're
They're
coming.
coming. So, when you go to buy a home, how important do you think it is to get the HVAC system inspected or at least looked at? And does the age of the HVAC system matter at all in your opinion?
So a lifespan of an HVAC unit is usually 10 to 12 years old. So if you're buying a new house or you're selling a house, you always want to get your HVAC inspected. It's probably required. If your unit is like 5 years old and you don't have any problems with it, I wouldn't say that it needed to be replaced necessarily, but if you're looking at a 10-year-old unit and you know that you've already had to put refrigerant in it, especially when it's like 100 degrees like it is now, you probably are going to want to replace that unit because a new unit is only going to add value to a house that you're trying to sell.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And so, what are some of the ways y'all work with homeowners to like maximize the lifespan of the heating and cooling systems in their house?
So right off the bat, if you buy a new heating and air unit from us, you have the ability to buy a 10-year warranty.
Okay.
So that's on the consumer, of course. And then we offer maintenance agreements. So a maintenance agreement with Cassell Brothers is when we come out twice a year. We
Yep.
typically come out in the spring, look over your unit, make sure that it's ready to go in AC mode for the summer. And then we'll come back out in the fall, examine that same unit and make sure it's ready to operate in heat during the winter.
Okay.
So talking about the lifespan again, does the lifespan start to dwindle if you're closer to water? So let's say people are on the lake and their HVAC's outside and the water's kicking up on it. Does that affect the lifespan of the HVAC system at all?
Freshwater like Lake Murray does
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
But let's say you go to the coast and you live on the coast and you have a heating and air unit. The salt in the air can cause the coil to corrode
Yep.
if that coil is not properly sealed
Yes, ma'am.
or
Okay.
coated.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Well, those are good things to know because some people think that anytime you live near water, right, that it can diminish the lifespan of something like that. And, that it's another cost to the house because heating and cooling is a pretty big system, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some of the common things that you see, that people can do themselves around their house to make sure that that system functions properly?
So you want to make sure that you're changing your filters.
Yeah.
Of course,
Why is that important?
Well, a dirty filter is not going to cause your unit to work efficiently.
Okay.
The airflow is also going to be affected by a dirty filter. So
Yeah.
you can change your filters. Typically, I change mine at my house about once a month.
Okay.
We come out and do a maintenance agreement. We're going to change your filters.
Yep.
And just make sure you're having it maintenance to make sure that you are testing it. Like I said, before it gets summertime, just click it on and make sure it's operating
Yep.
in AC mode. And before winter, click it on in heat mode to make sure it's going to work when it's
Yeah.
cold.
So.
I mean, it's killer to find out it doesn't work once. Because I forget, I had a friend way back and they didn't have AC in South Carolina the entire summer.
Ooh.
And so, I mean, it's just you need to test it. But when the homeowner goes to sell their home and they know that their system's older, do you see the homeowner being the one to replace it before they sell, or is it more common for the buyer to still buy the home as is with the older HVAC and then replace it?
So typically, we see the norm is probably the homeowner is replacing it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the homeowner, of course, wants to make sure that their house is in tip-top shape to sell it. So they'll call us and say, hey, we're thinking about selling our house. Can you come out and just look over our HVAC unit? So if we find something, I'm just going to say if you need to replace a coil and it's not under warranty, you're talking about maybe $2,000, $3,000
Yep.
because you have to replace the coil, you have to evacuate the refrigerant out of the system, put the coil in, and then put refrigerant back in. So that can be expensive. You're
Yep.
thinking about a $3,000 repair versus replacing a new unit. that may need to be replaced anyway. So the homeowners usually do, if we tell them that unit needs to be replaced, they usually go ahead and replace it before selling the house.
Okay. So one of the trends that we see in homes are like smart homes. And so these days, any home store you go into, there's probably, 20 different smart thermostats that you can buy to put on the wall and program, and they do all kind of fancy things. Is there a benefit to having those on your HVAC system, or is it more of a convenience, or is it something that's, better for the system?
I think it's a convenience because everybody has a cell phone.
Right.
With a smart thermostat, you can control your heating and air from wherever you are. On the beach in St. Thomas, in the mountains in Cashiers, North Carolina.
Yeah.
If your neighbor calls and says, hey, we just had a storm, the power went out, I haven't seen your lights on in your house, I know you're away from home, you can jump on your phone and look and see if your unit's operating.
Yeah.
You can set a schedule if you're away from home for when the unit comes on, when the unit cuts off. So
Yeah.
it's more so about convenience
Yes.
for the homeowner themselves.
Yeah. So George and I have had this conversation about how we like the temperature inside a house, like hotter or cooler during the days. So how does adjusting the temperature in your house affect the lifespan of the system? Like if you're running it at 68 all of the time, is that a good thing to do when it's 105 outside?
Again, it's about convenience.
Yeah.
Or about which power company you use, because there
Yeah.
are some companies you have downtimes and uptimes, so it affects running your unit, does affect your electric bill.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Do you want to pay a $600 electric bill for running it at 68 degrees all the time? Or I typically like to leave mine on about 72
Yeah.
in the summer and 68 in the winter.
68 in the winter. So moving it up and down like during the day, like warmer during the day, cooler at night, doesn't really have a performance issue on this
Not
system,
really.
like wearing it down or anything like that?
Not really, no sir.
Okay.
So besides getting a warranty, is there anything you'd suggest that the homeowner does to maintain the system better? I know you had talked about changing the filters and stuff like that, but on the unit itself, is there anything they need to be doing?
Well, a maintenance agreement,
Yeah.
regardless of what HVAC company you use, a maintenance agreement. And I say that because if you have a warranty on your system and you have a major part that breaks and you want it to be warranted,
Yeah.
a lot of times that warranty company is going to ask you, have you had your unit maintained on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Because whether or not you do can affect the way that your unit runs and the efficiency of it. So I always suggest that people have a maintenance agreement on
Yes,
their heating
ma'am.
and air unit.
Yeah. So let's switch gears and talk about plumbing. Because George and I have a story where we were with a client going to view a house, and we had shown this house to this client, and beautiful home. We walk in the door, and the ceiling is like missing out of 2 or 3 rooms of the house, and the floor's torn up and everything like that. And I'll let you tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, well, we thought we were going into a home with a ceiling, so it's
Oh,
always
gosh.
surprising when the home doesn't have a ceiling. You don't really
Surprise!
expect it, especially when like it's still listed as though it has a ceiling. But we later found out that the upstairs bathroom, there had been a plumbing miscue, and so the water had been running down and it had gone through the ceiling. So what plumbing issues do you see often, especially since y'all are still like getting into the industry? What's the main issues you see, and then what are ways people can prevent them just by stuff they can do at their house?
So the main thing we see are leaks that the homeowner themselves
Yeah.
don't even know about. And it's funny that you said the ceilings collapsed. So a lot of your plumbing is run through in your attic.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you have a minor leak that becomes a major leak, and the next thing you know, your ceiling's collapsing. Or the water is running inside the walls,
Yeah.
and you don't know it. So we do see undetected leaks. Of course, we see a lot of clogged drains
Yeah.
from somebody who's dropped something down a sink that they shouldn't have, their disposal, or from little kids dropping things in the toilet and flushing the toilet.
Yeah. Yeah, so things going down drains and things going down, how do you stop that? Or better yet, what advice do you give people that, you know, they start noticing that their sink starts draining slowly or their tub starts draining slowly? Is that a time to call you guys to have y'all come out to clean a drain, or is that something that they should just like learn to do themselves and do it once in a while?
So my answer to that is never do anything that you are not 100% sure that you can fix.
Okay.
As in plumbing, HVAC, electrical, whatever it is. If you can't do
You're
it 100%,
giving that advice to
yes,
the two wrong guys.
Yes. So if you have a slow leak in one of your faucets,
Yeah.
you know, check under your sinks, see if anything's leaking inside there. If your tubs start backing up,
Yeah.
that's a main trigger to give us a call. I'm the type of person, if anything's off, I'm gonna call somebody to help me, because
Yeah.
I'm not a misfix-it whatsoever.
Okay. So YouTube's not always the answer to
Correct,
the problem.
yes.
Yes, man.
Just a thought about plumbing, also like trees that are outside, because we had this issue where our toilet did back up.
From roots from a tree?
Yeah.
So it might be
Okay, we can do that.
mention that.
Yeah, how often do you see trees as an issue?
Well, trees can be a major issue, just depending on how close they are in proximity to your home.
Yeah.
So if you open your front door and right outside your front door there's a tree, well, those roots are somewhere. So, yes, a lot of people plant trees, they don't even think about that.
Yeah.
Landscapers would be really good to help you with that if you are planting new trees in your yard.
Yeah.
But yes, root systems can get long and intricate, so
Yeah.
they can affect the plumbing.
Yeah, because your sewer line comes out of the house, right? And
Yes.
either goes into the public sewer or into your septic system, and that's not a fun fix.
No, it is not.
No.
When it comes to plumbing though, is there like one interaction you had with a client that like stands out the most to you, or like a situation where you were told like something happened and it was like funny or else like pretty serious?
Well, we get calls about everything that you can imagine being flushed down a toilet. A fire truck was one. A kid's fire truck. So
fire truck.
little boy drops his fire truck in the toilet, hits flush, and the fire truck goes down the toilet and water comes flowing out, and it's all in the bathroom. And can you imagine a mom of a toddler calling and saying, little Johnny just flushed his fire truck down the toilet and now my bathroom is completely flooded.
Yeah.
So something like that would probably
Yes,
be the
ma'am.
most major thing. Or we have had ceilings collapse, just like you said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah. I guess sometimes people don't know you can just reach down behind the toilet and turn the
Turn it
water
off,
off,
yes.
and it kind of stops.
But
at
you don't
least
think
stops the
about that
water.
when water's standing in
No.
ankle deep in your bathroom.
Probably not. So, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I feel that's a good stuff.
Yeah. You ready? How's it?
For our college football segment.
So one of the things, Kim, we love about you is your passion for college football. So you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Do I really like football?
Man,
Man, yes, I love college football. So, Dabo Sweeney is my best friend. He doesn't know it yet. He just doesn't know it.
He should, because I mean you see him before every single game, right?
Yes, so we've been following Clemson football for years. So we started, they have a Tiger Walk, so we started where we line up, we see Dabo and the team come in before the game. My friend Vicky and I actually went to Nashville for the NFL draft. Probably the only two ladies ever that have gone to the NFL draft by themselves with no husbands, no significant other. And we saw Dabo, so he stopped on the street side. We talked about 20 minutes. So the next season, during Tiger Walk, he noticed us. So
Yeah.
now it's become a custom. When he comes in with the team during Tiger Walk,
Yeah.
he will stop, come over by us. We take a selfie, and then the team enters into the stadium, and it's just a tradition.
We know it's fall. We know it's college football Saturday because when we see you on Facebook, because you pretty much posted almost immediately,
Yep.
and it's just awesome. It's really awesome. So, we just have want to talk about a couple of quick questions because you know I'm a Carolina fan.
I won't hold it against you,
won't
David.
hold it
I will
against
not hold
me.
it against you.
Had to go there. My dad was a Clemson fan, and we talked about
What
this
happened?
earlier. I told you, he sent me to
Disappointment.
Carolina.
Yes, disappointment.
I probably didn't have the grades to get into Clemson, but no. So, real quick, we're in a rebuilding situation, right?
We?
So the Gamecocks.
Oh, okay. We are
And
not.
We had.
But you are. Okay.
Well, you may be. I don't know. So, we had a good season for us last year. Shane Beamer got us to 7 wins, and we were happy about that. Not too far from how many wins did y'all have last year?
I think we had 10.
10. So just 3 more. That's not.
Just
that,
1.
We're getting closer.
3.
We're getting closer.
Wow,
We're
we?
getting closer.
Are you a we too? Wow.
I'm an us. I go for everybody.
Bandwagon.
So, what are your predictions for the number of wins for the Clemson Tigers
Wow.
next year?
I'm on the spot here.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want me to go with my heart or do you want me to go with my head?
Give us both.
Give us both.
Heart says 12-0.
Okay.
National championship.
But we're gonna play the game.
Okay.
That's what my heart tells me.
Yeah.
But I am a little bit smarter than the average player, so I'm gonna have to go with my head. So I'm saying 11-1,
11-1.
10-2. There
Okay.
are 2 games on the schedule that I am a little bit worried about.
The Carolina game or?
No. I believe we're on a 7-0 streak there.
Yeah.
So Carolina comes to Clemson this year. So
Yeah, we do
I
have
think
to play.
we're
it
gonna
that way.
go 8-0. So I don't know what happens when we run out of fingers.
Has it
Like
been
after
8
10-0,
Has it
it's been
eight
7.
It's been 7.
So last year, I may or may not have given out 0 candy bars because you didn't score against us last year, and 7-Up drinks to all my Gamecock fans.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say Clemson, Deborah Swinney, I need you to help me out here. I'm gonna say we're gonna go be 11-1, 10-2. I'm worried about Notre Dame. We have to go to Notre Dame, and
Okay.
everybody knows that Notre Dame is usually always a powerhouse.
Yep.
And then the ACC, North Carolina State is picking their game up.
Yep.
Only thing that makes me think we may be 11-1 is I think we'll knock out NC State because they have to come to Death Valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Home field advantage is a big
Yes.
deal.
Which would mean more to you, a national championship or beating Carolina? So if you had to win if you won the national championship but lost to Carolina.
Oh
What
no,
would you
I'd
prefer?
rather beat Carolina.
Okay.
My whole family's Gamecock except for my niece and nephew.
Mhm.
One of my nieces that I've heavily brainwashed. So yeah, I'd rather beat Carolina and have a national championship.
Okay. Well, see, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say the Gamecocks are going to get to 8 wins this year.
So who are you going to beat? Are
Who
you
are we
predicting that
Who are we
you're
going
going
to
to beat
beat?
your
Not
rival
Georgia.
in Clemson?
Not Georgia.
Not Georgia.
Georgia.
Carrie
I'll say
Powers
we're
will
gonna
be
beat-
glad to
we're gonna
hear
beat
that
Clemson.
because she's a Georgia Bulldog girl.
Yeah, and that game's at home at Carolina too.
So
it'll be-
Clemson, I'm going to put you on the spot. Going to beat Clemson at Clemson? You got Shane
You
Beamer.
know what?
You got Rattler.
We got Spencer Rattler. We'll see.
That Austin Stogner kid.
Yeah. I would be happy if we make a good showing up at Clemson this year.
Score.
At least score.
Yeah, I mean,
That was because
Uh,
last year
do we
did
wanna go
in-
there?
I don't get how last year it was like we went into the game and Carolina was like, yeah, we're gonna win this one. Like we're gonna compete with Clemson this year. You can't say that and then just like not even get past the 50-yard line. Like, you at least have to get in the field goal range.
But I do
whatnot.
love it when y'all put a goose egg up against us.
Well, but I have to tell you though, so when I started keeping season football tickets at Carolina, right, my oldest daughter who just graduated high school was, we were on the winning streak against you where we went, we got 5 wins.
I know.
in
It was
the
fear of the thumb there for a while.
fear of the thumb.
Mm.
But, and so that was a really special time for my daughter, my oldest daughter and I, because she's a huge Carolina fan. And she still, to this day, will make sure none of the other family go to the Clemson game with me if there's only 2 tickets. Now, we've got more, so we can all go now, but in the early days, she would find a way to talk her younger sister out of going to the home game against Clemson if it were her younger sister's year to go with me.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's not a game that you want to miss.
So I'm hoping that, we get another time together where we get to see Carolina beat Clemson. So,
Ooh.
it can happen. I was there in 2010 when we beat Alabama. I mean, we beat Georgia a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, stranger things have happened, but
stranger things have
I'm
happened.
gonna go with my Tigers. I have my lucky $2 bill. So.
So we'll have to get back together in late December, early January, and see how we did.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Definitely.
So talk to us about the $2 bill though. Why is it your lucky
Yeah.
$2 bill?
Okay, so this $2 bill here, in 2017, I went to my first ever national championship game. And one of the things pregame at the arena there in Tampa was a fan fest. So Alabama fans, Clemson fans, you could meet Clemson legends and Alabama legends. So I didn't have anything for anybody to sign. And I had no idea who the Clemson legend was going to be. So it just so happened it was Taj Boyd, who is my favorite ever Clemson football player. And so when Clemson fans travel, we always carry $2 bills stamped with the tiger paw, and we pay for everything with our $2 bills. So I had a $2 bill. So came up to the table, met Taj Boyd, and I had him autograph it. So he's autographed it here. And I put it in my pocket, and I carried it around with me all weekend. It was in my pocket when we won the national championship. So I carry this $2 bill on me all the time. So it's kind of like, I guess if I'm superstitious, this is my superstition. That
Clemson should probably be thanking you for the national
Well, I can't take the credit for it, but you couldn't buy this for me for $1 million. I'm just gonna say, don't steal it, David. I'm not gonna put it.
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say,
gonna hold it in my hand.
now I know what my goal for
My
coffee talk
my
is.
kryptonite
Yeah,
is
you can thank
still
me.
this $2 bill. Yes.
No, but listen, Kim, thank you
Thank
so
you. Yes.
much for being a part of us.
Well,
joining
listen.
us
So
today.
y'all have been asking me all these questions.
Yep.
Another little tidbit about Clemson football. So I go to a lot of road games, and
Yep.
usually we travel by car.
Okay.
So I always have a bag of musical instruments.
Okay.
So what we do is we do car karaoke. So my friend Vicky and I, we travel to the games.
Yep.
We post it on Facebook,
Yep.
and then we'll put a post on Facebook that says, okay, we're going to stop at a rest area in 30 minutes
Yep.
and do what we call car karaoke.
Okay.
So our followers will tell us what song they want us to sing. We'll pull over at a rest area or a gas station or whatever. We've done it in a Walmart parking lot. We'll play the music,
Yep.
the song on the radio, and we'll get our instruments and we'll
Okay.
do car karaoke.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was wondering if you guys would do car karaoke with me
Absolutely.
before
Yes.
we end this podcast.
Yes.
So what
Okay.
we're gonna do is we're gonna sing the Cassell Brothers jingle.
Okay.
So it's really simple. Your line's gonna be call on Cassell for comfort,
Mhm.
Cassell Brothers Heating and Cooling,
Okay.
and I will sing the verse. Okay.
Okay.
So are you gonna play multiple instruments?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. David's going maracas.
Okay.
I'm always the tambourine girl, although I've played, I don't play anything, but I like to attempt.
Okay.
All right, so here we go.
Ready?
Call on Cassell for comfort. Cassell Brothers Heating and Cooling. Call on Cassell for comfort. Cassell Brothers Heating and Cooling. For your service needs, guaranteed. There's never a hassle at Cassell. Call on Cassell for comfort. Cassell Brothers Heating and Cooling. Yay! All right, listen,
Thank you.
y'all may just make it into our next commercial. I mean, listen, that was great.
First take.
Maybe a band's in your future?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You never know. We
The-
might actually sing at the next karaoke night.
Yes, let's do it. I'll bring the instruments. Thank y'all so much. It was so much fun.
Thank
I've
you.
been
Yes.
so excited. I listen to podcasts all the time.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
listen to a different podcast every single day.
Well, now you got new
Now
and
the
added
guests.
Every other
invitation.
Friday.
Please
Yes.
tell all your friends
Yes,
about it.
listen to these guys' podcast, y'all. The first one, I was in stitches laughing so hard. So these guys are really doing it. Best realtors in the area.
Thank
Give
you.
them a call.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all. Have a good day.
Yep.